Superman by James Gunn came out this week in theaters, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the positive elements of this movie, the negative elements of the film, as well as some of the more mixed aspects of this movie. If you have not seen Superman already, be sure before I get into the review, go down into the comments below and let me know if you haven't seen it. Are you going to go see it in theaters, or are you going to wait until it comes out on streaming? I'm going to give you my recommendation on what I think you should do at the end of this video, so stick around for that. So starting off with one of the biggest positives with this movie is the world building that James Gunn has crafted into this version of Superman. You really get the sense that James Gunn took what worked with Guardians of the Galaxy, with all of these different and various alien races, and he took that and basically dropped it into this version of Superman, and that was what felt the most fresh about this version of Superman. Another big positive of this movie, I think, is the performances. David Corenswet delivers a really solid performance as Superman. He really inhabits the character of Superman very naturally and brings out a brightness and an optimism and a hopefulness to Superman, kind of reminiscent of Christopher Reeve. Moving on to the mixed section of this review, this movie, even though I understand it's trying to be the first movie in this version of the DC universe, this movie feels like part two of a Superman film that should have had a part one. If you just came in to the Dune movies, the new Dune movies, and you watched Dune Part 2 without having watched Dune Part 1, that's kind of the analogy I could give with this movie. It feels like I'm watching Superman Part 2 and I somehow missed Superman Part 1, so I'm not exactly caught up on what all is happening in this movie. There's a lot of exposition dumps in this movie, and when it happens, it just like hits you head on, and it's like, okay, exposition, got it, thank you. As a first movie in this DC relaunch, it feels like they were almost afraid that audiences would get bored if there was too little going on. We don't need all this to be, introduced, developed, and concluded in the first movie. I think some of those elements that they introduced could have been introduced in this movie and then teased and then paid off in the next Superman or the next DC film. You can still have an interesting, compelling movie for 2 hours in a Superman movie without making it so busy with the story. So overall, would I recommend that you see Superman in the theater or wait until it comes out on streaming? I would say this movie really lends itself to the big screen, and if you can, you should see this one in the theater. If I had to give this a score, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. If you've seen it, let me know what was your favorite element. If you haven't seen it, are you going to see it in theaters? Are you going to stream it? Thanks so much for watching.